That is the rep from the Hage Geingob Stadium, where Namibia was taking on the Portuguese there. Unfortunately, Namibia falling short, that is 37-22, as Portugal dominate. But of course, a much improved performance from the Velviches after they struggled against Blue Bulls last week. So it is indeed a much improved performance, and I'm sure our NTV team will be providing some highlights for us as we continue in the show, as we will see what really transpired. I'm sure most of you were glued to your screen watching that one there. I mean, anyone who was watching from home or at the stadium would definitely say it is a respectable defeat, although it is still a defeat. The fact that it is not the 90s to 6 and the 80s to 6 or to 4 speaks volume of how much Coach Alistair Coetzee has put into the team this week, throughout the performance, throughout the training ground. And you could hear from him throughout that he was ready to give the team a bit of workout in order to make sure that we will battle against the Portuguese. I mean, every little improvement, although it is a defeat for the Velviches, speaks volume of that the team is improving, and I'm sure that everyone would be agreeing to that, although there will be some that says that we went to the stadium hoping that we can celebrate a victory. Remember that it has not always been easy on the beach. So let's give credit to the boys for making sure that they do not lose by really, really big margins. And there is the confirmation of the scoreline there. 37-22, that is Portugal beating the Velviches at the Hage Geingob Stadium. A very special match indeed that was played there, also in honor of the late President Hage Geingob, who succumbed to illness a few months ago. So it is indeed a special occasion, and the boys really fought hard in order to make sure that the memory of the late president at least has a bit or has respect on it in terms of that. That is why the stadium, after all, is named after him as a patriot of that. So we will continue with more news. And earlier on today, we had some great entertainment, and obviously it was about the Brave Warriors. It happened in the week, and as we come to Saturday now, we're trying just to show you what transpired. Obviously, we know the result. We are aware that the Brave Warriors lost, that is to Angola, in the final of the COSAFA Cup. Unfortunately, they couldn't repeat the 2015 heroics when they lifted the competition after a 2-0 victory against Mozambique. However, still from years on, we have not managed to beat the Angolans. They did it to us. They did a number on us at the Africa Cup of Nations that concluded in the Ivory Coast recently, and again doing a number on us, and this time in humiliating fashion with a 5-0 defeat in the final, which was a record on that Sunday. And I'm sure many of the Namibians were not really satisfied with that. But we would hear still from the coach what he said after that match.
With us, Colin Benjamin, not expected results at all.
Yeah, obviously the game didn't go exactly what we planned it to be, but at the same time I also am still very proud of my boys. It still fills me with pride and admiration for them. Their effort to come through here to the final, I applaud them. And you see a final like this, if you look at the semi-final, we had 4 guys really on the ground. They gave everything. So in the kind of game that we play, we do expect to always forward press. And normally, if you do get this 1-0, 2-0, normally it is so that you lose it because the tiredness come in, the mental effect comes in, and I think in the end, yes, Angola deservedly won it. But for us, I'm still, as a coach, really proud of my boys. It still gives me appetite to work with them, and we're just going to pick this up and get to work.
And opposition themselves, they were really sort of fully present, especially up front.
Yeah. It's like I said, the margins were so small in the beginning, coming into the beginning. So it's who makes the mistake. Unfortunately, we were the ones that made the mistake, and then the opposition becomes stronger and more comfortable. But that's the nature of the game. That's how it is. You can't do anything about it. We just have to pick up our heads and move on. I think for our boys, 22, 23 years old, coming into this deep sea, proving that they can smoke this pipe, coming to the final in this COSAFA, I think it's like I said, it's giving me appetite to work further with these boys.
Coach, obviously it's the last day I've got time with you. We need to talk about exactly what you're saying now brings to mind that the first cross of the game, you could have been one up from Moseu on the right-hand side. And suddenly they scored 2 quick goals, both from your mistakes.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, that in the margins are so small, the teams are at equal footing. Who's the one that's going to make the mistake? The one that's going to make the mistake is the one that's going to be put on the back foot. Unfortunately, we were the ones, and I am still of the opinion that you learn best through these kind of games. We know that the Haaland will know that, hey, listen, the Mnyama will know that I have to keep the ball better. Mudeu will know that, hey, you know, when I get these chances at the international level, it's going to be 1 or 2. I have to put them in. We're going to know that, okay, at the defensive corners, we have to be consequent. We have to defend it with conviction. So those are the lessons that we're taking from it. And I think, all in all, I'm honestly still proud. And we're going to move on. We're going to move on.
I'm just going to take a leaf from what you said earlier.
Yeah.
So this is obviously playing into the hands of the critics.
Yeah, most definitely. But you know, what's supposed to be for you, nobody can keep it from you. So we're gonna pick it up. We're gonna keep our head up high, and we're gonna work with these boys like no other before. And we're gonna come back. We've got so many games coming up. We've got the qualifiers coming up. We've got the World Cup qualifiers. My heart's still smiling.
Coach, I wish you best of luck and lucky today.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure working with you all.
It's always beautiful with this beautiful game, beautiful people, beautiful spectators. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Hope
Hope to
so
see you.
much.
Nothing worked for you.
First of all, we thank the Almighty for the opportunity, which I'm grateful for. It was a final, and we lost. But all in all, we give our all. It did not work out, and we take it from there till the next time.
And it's not time to blame anybody, but I can recall the first cross of the game that could have maybe put you on the lead and ease the pressure, and that wasn't to be.
It's all about taking your chances. If you don't take it, they take theirs. It's game over. So we learn from it.
Learning and also learning the hard way. I can see there's a big gap or gash on your mouth there. That's just one of the things that goes with the game, isn't it?
We're at the war. That's what you get when you're at the war.
And then the last question, one-on-one there. I mean, minutes gone. That's when you realize that, no, it's not going to happen today.
That's when I realized that it's not our day, because you saw the chance and I did not take it. But all in all, I'm thankful for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. You've entertained us, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
You know what was interesting enough was the coach saying that he was very proud of the boys in that last match. Obviously, due to the fact that he said it was a relatively a new squad, assembled squad with most of the senior players not included in this one. Of course, we should feel bad for Betul Mudeu, who scored 3 goals in the competition but could not actually take the golden boot after the Angolan striker obviously took that one home. Obviously, you could hear from Benjamin, there's a sense of growth in the team. He feels that this was an important experience for the players in terms of competition. He feels that the score doesn't speak volume of how the team has performed throughout the competition. And maybe one would agree on that due to the fact that obviously it was a team of players that are applying their trade locally here in Namibia, and they are definitely it was a first time experience to play in such a top competition. But however, it was still a 5-0 defeat, which was quite hurtful to a number of Namibian fans. I mean, you could hear it on the street. Everyone was very frustrated due to the fact that Namibia was unable to bring this trophy home. And not only was that painful for many of the fans in terms of Namibia losing 5-0 to Angola, remember, it was more painful to some who were stating that Angola is our neighbors and how can they do this to us? I mean, it has been years since independence and we have not had a single victory against them. But however, the boys were received well here back at home in Namibia after the returning from South Africa, where they played the COSAFA tournament, of course returning with a silver medal. And none other than our vice president of the country, Madam Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, obviously welcomed for them for a dinner, and they received some gifts. Our reporter Brian Munango was there this week and brought this for us.
Performance is very remarkable. And I can say, as a government, we owe you a lot. And I will say it very straight. It's very unfortunate that you are at a point where your fan cannot see you playing. But I want to assure you that very soon, this is going to be something of the past. Honorable Minister, you know that I don't like this word work in progress. I've been following the stadium, the Sema Nujoma Stadium renovation. It's true that some of the laws that we put in place are working against us. The money was not a problem. The problem is when the tender is given to this one complains, and then you have now a problem to proceed. But I must say, we understood your cry or your appeal in advance. And Honorable Minister, in the course of last week, I have received the program that is leading to the starting of the renovation of the Independence Stadium. It's really my hope that the laws we put up will not go in our face, so that by the 28th or on the 28th of August, the contractor should be awarded to a successful bidder. This is the program I'm giving here. Now I'm disclosing that I'm following it with great interest because I really want it to be done. So now this is where I stand. That's what I'm informed, that we have put this and the whole government is sitting on it, and then 28 August is set to be a date where the contractor should be awarded to a successful bidder so that the renovation of the stadium should start. So we are really working hard, brave warrior, and all of us, the sports lovers. I'm also a sports lover, I'm a sports person. Mine is netball and squash. Those are the two I've invested my youth in, and I think it's well invested. And up to now, really, I love sports. So that's why I'm not joking, and there's not a political campaign. When I said sports and creative industry should be added as part of our economic sectors, I put them in the line: agriculture, mining, tourism, fisheries, and then sports and creative industries. I'm doing my homework. And I can share so that I could be challenged, that given 80 billion Namibian dollars, given 8 billion Namibian dollars that I have to demand at one point, every Namibian constituency will be able to have a standard sports field. On my thing of standard sports field, you have a soccer pitch, you have a netball court, you have a basketball, and you have, with this one, where you cross the line, the volleyball. So that's the basic, and it's possible. I know with that 8 billion it's possible. And then every regional capital should be able to have at least grade 2 soccer, sports field, a sports complex. And then we must make sure that we have at least 5 which are at a grade 3. And I've done my homework. With that 8 billion, it's possible. It's possible.
Excellency, Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, allow me to observe the protocol as has been established. My task tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and Your Excellency, it's very simple. This is tonight to once again come on the podium from the Namibia Football Association side to appreciate the Namibian government for what it has been done and is still doing and will do in the past, in the future, for our sports, especially the brave warriors. As times go, we are forgetting that we are also having the brave gladiators, which is the girls, which are now currently in Switzerland on an invitation from Liechtenstein to go and compete against them, to also go and make us proud, as they have done it in South Africa against University of Pretoria, where they defeat them 5-0. So this is land of the brave gladiators, brave warriors. They are always making us proud, and we cannot stop to say thank you and appreciate the Namibian government for the job well done. We also are acknowledging the fact that the Namibian government is working very hard to make sure that our national team must come back and play its games here in Namibia. As we have heard already over the few months regarding the renovations, the work to take place at the Independence Stadium, which are only delayed now, not by the government, not by funding, but by, the provisions that the law is putting in front of us. And as a law-abiding citizens of this country and leaders of this country, they are adhering to the law. But I will also make a call tonight, Vice President, that please that we assist the Ministry of Youth and Sports so that we can bring few exemptions so that this process can be faster. We want our team to come and play at home, their home matches. We want them here, and we want to qualify for the FIFA World Cup. We are sure, we are very proud of these boys, and we are very sure that we can qualify for FIFA World Cup. But our next matches are in March next year, and we are pleading to the Namibian citizens which are involved at this tendering and whatever processes, please, that we allow the government so that we can faster, that by January, February, that the stadiums are ready so that the brave warriors can face the other countries here at our home soil for the World Cup qualifiers. Your Excellency, having said that, the NFA is very much committed also to assist the government with regards to the stadium, and that's now the important topic that we are having. that we need to have stadiums. And NFA is also doing its little best. Wherever we are going, we are talking to FIFA and CAF. Please come and assist our government. We have also made calls to different municipal councils throughout the country, especially the capital, regional capital towns and cities, to avail land to NFA so that we can start building regional offices for leadership at the regional level to administer football, not from their houses and from their the boots of their cars, but to have proper infrastructure offices where they can sit and administer football from. So we are also making a call on those councils who has not yet answered to that call to come on board to assist us. We have a beautiful stadium, the Sam Nujoma Stadium. We cannot forget that stadium. It's very important. It's the founding president's stadium. That's the name that is there. And we are pleading to Namibian citizens to come on board to assist us with funding so that we can also renovate that stadium, so that our president can once again, the founding one, can once again be proud where his name is associated with that beautiful stadium. Honorable Minister has told me I must be very brief and I must honor that call. Therefore, I will proceed to the next task that I have.
Yes, we must really say something about brave warrior. We must know now how do we welcome you in a manner that we can all really show that the pride of the nation is here. So we need that really to come in so that we have a good password for brave warrior whenever we are meeting you. Please, come minister, the managers, everybody, we need that. So that the nation, when you hear, then you know the brave warrior is around, the brave warrior is coming. That should be the case. Eh? Am I wrong? We must have something. Thank you. Thank you. Please visit all these camera people. Thank you, Comrade Minister of Sports, Youth and National Service for the floor. Honorable Minister in the Presidency, the Deputy Minister of Sports, Youth and National Service, our ED, State House, the representative of the President of NFA, the Secretary General, I think I had, the sports representative here, and of course the brave warriors and the whole management team and the mobilizers. You say you call them chicken for the brave warrior. So really, I'm not here for a keynote address. It's simply to pass a welcome and a congratulatory message on behalf of the President, the Cabinet, and of course the entire Namibian nation. I would like to welcome our brave warrior back home and to say congratulations, you have made us proud. I'm doing this in this important house, which is now known as the official residence of the Vice President of the Republic of Namibia. Not Netumbo is the official residence. It's the official residence of the Vice President of the Republic of Namibia. Whoever will be occupying that position, this is the official residence. It is a very historical place because if I recall, because this has been the official residence of the President of the Republic of Namibia at independence. The founding president was living here, and all the cabinets that he has established, we all got our letters in this particular room. It was the hall where when you are called, it's either you'll be given a work or you'll be reassigned. So it's not really a small place as we might think. It has a history. I don't want to keep you long here. I know you had a very, very busy days that has really paid dividends. Yes, you have not won the gold, but for us as a nation, we really feel that you have presented us well. And to be the second runner-up and to win the silver medal for us is something as a nation, and we are really proud of you.
That is the Vice President of the Republic of Namibia welcoming back the Brave Warriors earlier this week when they returned from their COSAFA Cup tournament where they finished as runners-up, that is courtesy of a 5-0 defeat to Angola. Obviously, they received some gifts and welcomed well for reaching the final at least, and I'm sure many would have hoped that they would have won the tournament, as I alluded to earlier. However, it was not to be. Speaking of not to be, I'm sure many of you that were at the match, or for those at least that missed the game between Portugal and Namibia that took place today at the Hage Stadium, you have a chance to watch the highlights now.
Hello viewers, and welcome to this highlights package involving the test match between Namibia and Portugal. Tian Swanepoel opening the score on behalf of Namibia with a penalty in the 4th minute. Swanepoel successfully converting this penalty for the first points on the scoreboard on behalf of Namibia. It was Swanepoel again in the 8th minute. Another penalty successfully converted, and it's 6 for Namibia and 0 for Portugal.
So after that, we saw the first try on the side of Portugal. The fly of Cabral that sent over the cross kick, and not much that Kyrian Majid could do to stop Rodrigo Marta from scoring the try there for Portugal.
Yes, and the Portugal fans celebrate. There's the conversion. And here we have the Namibians on the attack. Lloyd Jacobs there. But then unfortunately that attack fizzled out, and Portugal changing things once again. And what a play by Namibia here. Katsitseko crashing over for Namibia's first try. And Tian also added the conversion. And the score 13 for Namibia and 7 for Portugal. That was Cabral adding a penalty for Portugal.
An opportunity for Namibia. Alkino Isaacs winning back that grabber or little kick forward. Jason Nell trying to keep the ball alive, but the referee ruling against Namibia there. And then also an opportunity for Portugal, creating an opportunity towards the left-hand side, but the last pass gets left behind. And then it was the flank, Nicolas Martins, that scored just before half-time for Portugal, converted by Cabral. And the half-time score 13 for Namibia, 17 for Portugal.
Swanepoel converting another penalty there on behalf of Namibia, pushing the score to 16 against the 17 for Portugal.
And then a crucial try scored by the right wing of Portugal, José Paiva da Santos. that took one of the moments that took the match away from Namibia, escaping the tackle of Danko Burger there, and also getting away from Kieran Majid.
Domingos.
Increasing the gap there to 34 points to 22. Easy conversion there for Cabral.
Tian Swanepoel with another penalty conversion on behalf of Namibia in the 58th minute.
Yeah, these penalties were all a little bit earlier, I think, before that try that we saw. And then unfortunately, time running out for Namibia to be able to make a comeback.
And then it was one-way traffic for Portugal. Manuel Cardoso, fullback, cutting open the Namibian defense and crashing over for a try on behalf of Portugal, right underneath the post, touching down in the 65th minute. Domingos added the conversion, pushing the tally up to 34 for Portugal, 22 for Namibia.
Unfortunately, the end result there, 37 for Portugal, 22 for Namibia. As expected, the higher ranked team in the world rankings currently pulling through to win, although Namibia were in it with just 5 points difference until a late stage with 20 minutes left. Unfortunately, the match getting away from them.
Not the cup of tea the Velviches were hoping for, and not the result the Namibian Ferns were hoping for, as I alluded to earlier though. But we can say it is still a respectable scoreline. And big ups to that is Network TV from Namibia Network Media Hub for making sure that the viewers from home were able to watch that game live. Obviously, it is a TV production that has set goals and set a dedication towards bringing this events to you live, and it is going to be continuing like this for the rest of the year, as the Sport Rap Show will also remain here just to give you updates on what is happening on the ground at the time. We will be here on the hour and every hour. And moving on to football news now. Although it was last week as well, it was the fact that Coach Ronnie Cananello resigned, and he was the first casualty of the COSAFA team that all the defeat from the Brave Warriors when they lost, that is, to the likes of Mozambique. However, Ronnie Cananello interestingly cited the fact that it was it was not his really mission or intention to resign from the position as assistant coach, but however it was what was happening in the NFA, the internal affairs, the micromanagement, and the fact that the leadership of the association has been on the ground trying to push people that they presume have overstayed in their positions could be one of the reasons why Ronnie the Magnet Cananello decided that he is going to step down from the position as assistant coach. We remember that Cananello has been part of the Brave Warriors setup for so many years. That he was a goalkeeper for the Brave Warriors back in the day. We can all remember 1998 when he was part of that class of 98, where he was literally one of the top players in that competition. However, Ronnie Cananello decided he's going to step down to avoid the current politics that are happening in the football. I'm sure many of you do have an opinion on that in terms of what's happening. And speaking of opinions, just this week we spoke, that is, to Jefta Gawap, who also had much to say in terms of what's happening. Here it is. Sports commentator Jefta Gawap has lashed into the Namibia Football Association's NFA's leadership for interfering with the affairs of the Brave Warriors technical team. Gawap has also questioned the appointment of some members of the technical team. He accuses the NFA leadership of micromanagement in an industry where it is not required. This is what Jefta had to say. I have a serious problem with how the operations of the NFA are currently happening. I think this is a time-ticking bomb if the leaders do not step aside and let the coaches do their job. It seems like they came into power with a predetermined plan to get rid of some people in the office due to personal vendettas. Gawap insisted Ronnie Cananello, who this week resigned under unusual circumstances, is among the victims of how the NFA leadership is operating. Gawap feels there is a lack of transparency and the NFA leadership are on a witch hunt. Here he said more. If you look at guys like Opas Mokoena that we saw on TV at the COSAFA Cup as part of the technical team, you wonder where he came from and why he is involved was not publicly announced. The leaders are currently running the risk of bloating the wage bill of the association on things that do not matter, while they should be out there looking for sponsorship, Gawap said. The current NFA leadership took over last year after the association fell in the hands of the FIFA Normalization Committee due to its history of infighting and football politics. Gawap has warned that the NFA might take the same dark path if they continue targeting individuals within the association. Here is what he had to say. Colin Benjamin is doing a great job as a head coach, and so was Ronnie. But they were still under pressure, and from comments in the press, it appears like the leaders feel like some people have overstayed their welcome. It is not up to them to judge people on the length of time, but on the work they have done. NFA Secretary General Charles CEO, however, rebuffed the allegations. He said, "All I know is that the current leadership operates under a manifesto which they promised to the voters. The problem is that some people can't take criticism positively, and that is why they feel there is a witch hunt. But I can assure you there is nothing like that," Siauya said. Quite interesting there, and many debates have been going on about the ongoing fights at the Football Association for years. It has always been a place that has been tainted with a lot of allegations, leaders fighting against each other, and not quite a good start for many that were hoping that after the new leadership has taken over, at least some of the issues have been ironed out. Some have been claiming that the association has taken the right path and is doing a great job in terms of its management and affairs. But we have, however, heard from people like Jochen Trott, who was part of the NFA Association as an interim Secretary General, who has already said that a lot of money is being used on unnecessary trips from the leaders. Already complains where the fact that when the team traveled, that is to the Africa Cup of Nations, there was a lot of leaders of the executive that traveled with the team, which was really not a necessity, and that led to a bloating bill, and also to the fact that some players felt that they were not remunerated fairly for taking the team that is to the round of 16 of the Africa Cup of Nations. However, the NFA and its president remain stern and remain confident that they are doing the right thing and that they have actually taken the association to another point or to another level. So let us hope that things are going to be ironed out. That is all we want to see as football fanatics, and that is what is necessary for the fans and for the football players that live off from football and that support their families from football. Speaking of footballers that live, that are supporting their families, Kamayanda Disiro is currently in South Africa, where he is obviously on trials with Baroka FC. The goalkeeper put some top performances at the just ended COSAFA Cup, and obviously his heroics attracted interest that is from South African clubs, and Baroka FC are the first team that has actually put interest on the player, and they are currently assessing him. Obviously he is currently contracted, that is to Namibian club African Stars, but obviously with pursuing his future and greener pastures, he feels that a move that is towards the South African Premiership or even the First Division would be something great for his future. Disiro was also part of the Africa Cup of Nations team that competed in the Ivory Coast earlier on this year. However, he did not get any chance to play at that time. Well, we hope that Disiro will be one of those goalkeepers that will join a chorus of many goalkeepers from Namibia that have plied their trade in South Africa. To name a few, you can call the likes of Maximilian Baiva, the likes of Ronnie Cananelo himself, the likes of Lloyd Kadhapwa, Virgil Fries, and many more that have competed in the South African Premiership. And all this starts from development. And speaking of development, we have the Arcadia Football Academy that has been hard at work trying to develop players for years. And some of these players have actually made their way throughout to the teams. Let's hear from the team's management. Coach, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, you can just introduce yourself.
My name is Fred Nana. I'm the coach of Arcadia Football Club. So we are here to develop these small boys. From the ages that we have, we started from under 10, 11, 13, 15, 19, and under 23s.
How long have you been developing these boys?
Since I was playing here. Since let's say we are now 16 years with the team.
With the team?
With the team, 16 years with the team now.
Okay, so how important is it to produce talent from a development age? Like
it's good. It's good, very good. It's keep the boys also from the streets, and it gives you also that image so that people can see that there is something that people, that coach is doing, bringing small boys from the street, and so that they can play football also.
Okay. In terms of discipline wise, what do you do to educate them not to be part of things of this world, you know, crime and all that?
What we do is train with them from Monday to Friday. So always on why we are using them for Friday, it's because we want to keep them. If they go home, then they don't go out on Fridays, then they stay home. Saturday morning they are coming from 8 o'clock, then up to 12, then they go back, then they have the whole day tired sitting at home, and so that they are not going to go to the streets and do something.
Okay. Looking at the crop of players that you have now, I'm sure there are more. Have you produced any players that have gone on to play, let's say, Premier League or the First Division?
Yes, we do. I can name them. We have Guti Kurkuve, who's played for Stars. We have Mervin Katire, who went to Black Africa. We have Erwin Afrikaner, who went to Sevix. We have the former peripheral goalkeeper Javera. It was with me. Letu was with me. So we have players.
A bunch of players.
Yeah, a bunch of players.
Okay. One of the things that one might ask is, how do you get funding for all this? I mean, it must be expensive to actually develop players from a young age, like especially through an academy.
Yeah, no, it's very, we are struggling to get funds. What we do is we get small money from all players that were playing for the team. We have a group that always donate us $100 so that we can buy kits for the boys and those kind of things. but we don't have really a sponsor. That, yeah, we don't
so
have
you would encourage any sponsor to come on board?
we will, they are welcome to come in. If there is somebody who's going to come on board, we are welcome.
Okay. One of the things that sports and education goes hand in hand. Do you encourage these boys especially to study as well while they are doing sports here?
We do that. We each end of each exams that they are doing, we are calling the parents to come in, and then we ask them how the boys are doing at school. Then we go at schools like most of them are going to, some of them Commercial Primary, some of them are at Commerce Tura. So we go and ask the teachers how the boys are doing and the discipline wise, because they behave here, but if they go back at the school, they have always those problems of behaving.
Okay.
But we are follow up with those.
But you are following up always?
Always, yes.
Yes. So going forward, what do you hope to get out of some of these players that are here, especially in terms of their talent to go where?
Our aim, my aim is at least if we can have 5-6 of them to go out with each age, so that they can go to Netherlands or somewhere where they can go and study and play football. Is our aim. With this with younger age.
Okay, so how many coaches are you so far here?
We are 4 of us. Okay. We are 4 of us, yeah.
And all of you focus on the under age groups?
Yeah, we have different age groups. Each coach is on age groups, and then I oversee all of them.
All of them,
yeah.
In terms of fitness and
everything, yeah.
Okay, so where were you guys practicing before you came here?
When we were playing, we practicing after school center. That's where we started training there. And then they built the field, and then they said, no, we can't train anymore there. So that's why we struggling to get this field.
To make sure that you guys have something.
Something for us, for ourselves.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, it is always wonderful to see football academies in the country. Of course, speaking of top of the caliber football nations have good setups in terms of academy, and not to forget that they also have a very good leadership in terms of their FAs and their structures. Everywhere there is politics, but sometimes, African countries obviously tend to overstep the border in terms of that, and that's why you find so many FIFA normalization committees being appointed that is in African countries. But of course, we hope that football, and with this football academies, will continue to grow. And the only thing I'm sure that many of the Namibians would love to see, we have seen our country playing at the Africa Cup of Nations, but that first, the biggest one is the World Cup, just like what the rugby has been doing, qualifying back-to-back to Rugby World Cups. Why can't our team do that? And speaking of international stuff, we also had Jeremiah Loki Nakathila, aka the boxer that has been doing headlines for the past few years, and he is probably one of Namibia's fighters that has fought the most on US soil on professional fights. Of course, Loki has fought 4 times, winning 1 there and losing 3, but he is still one of the boxers that says he has gained experience from that. He pushed up the weight, obviously, to join the lightweight division, as well as some opponent that he fought a time ago, Shakur Stevenson, which he feels they are in the same weight division again, and maybe there can be a deja vu in the future. Let's hear from Loki's experience and the fight he is looking forward to on 17th of August.
We are joined here by that's the man himself, Jeremiah Loki Nakathila. Obviously preparing for a big fight in August. Loki, we have chatted about this before, but we just want an update on how are things going in the gym.
Yeah, no, thank you, Jesse. Jeremiah Loki Nakathila here. I'm very busy man at work. When it comes to training, I've been in the gym since my last fight. Fought recently in April, and again my promoter did a great job to schedule me to fight in 17 August, and I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the 17 August, so I can do what I do best, and that's to shine and win. I'm looking forward to that fight.
All right, you've been sparing, obviously. I don't know how well you know your opponent. Have you ever seen him in action?
I have looked at a few footage on YouTube, but yeah, that's all I saw. But I'm just focusing more on my training and to make sure I'm ready, because I know when I'm ready, there's no doubt I'll destroy him.
Yes, Loki, you have gone up the weight, and if we look at that, what can you say has changed in terms of diet, in terms of training? Is it the same as at the weight where you were?
Right now I feel more comfortable at lightweight. Since I have moved up, I feel more comfortable in the lightweight, so I'm not training more compared to when I was fighting a junior light. And also now I'm grown, so I have to be to move up. No complaint about the weight. I feel more stronger, more comfortable in the lightweight.
Definitely. Okay. So what are the different, let's say, in terms of lightweight, and when you were in the other division, what were the different stuff that you have seen that you need to do in lightweight that you, and the other weight that you had to do?
Yeah, I feel there's more competition come to the lightweight. Even now, when you look at all Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, all the names you can mention, they are in the lightweight division. So it also motivates in the back of my mind to work hard, because I know I'm in a tough division, and if one of the days I have to fight these guys, or I have to get a call to fight one of these top guys, I must be ready. So I feel lightweight carry more competitive. It's a more competitive weight, and I'm happy to be in such a very competitive weight.
Yes, we know the Nakathila of the past and the new Nakathila that is now fighting in the lightweight, that has been fighting in the likes of America and these countries. So what would you say you have learned all this way?
Yeah, I've learned going to fight in America. I've learned something from those few fights that I fought there. And also the training camp. One of the things when you go abroad, you have a week for exposure whereby you train in this big gym, and you also have top guys that are coming in training that time. You look at certain things, how they do it, and for sure it will help you. Also just to strengthen your mind, how you have to do it when it comes to training. It helped me a lot. Training wise, I feel I was lucky to be part of those journeys, going to America and then have those exposure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, going to America, it's been a while now, obviously, since you returned. Perhaps in your back of your mind, when you're fighting these local fights, these African fighters and all, do you perhaps still have a dream of fighting again in America?
For sure, I'm looking forward to fight again in America, especially now having fights here. This fight is just to put me back at the range, or whereby I can have a chance to fight the top guys in America, and then it's a must that I must win this fight, so I can able to get a chance again to fight in the American soil.
Yes. Look, you've been into America. My interesting question has been the atmosphere in terms of a fight, when the fight is going compared to when you are in Namibia. What has been the biggest difference?
Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge, those are arena, you fight in a big arena, especially if you are coming in the ring. It's better to avoid to look around. It's better to focus on your opponent, because if you look around, you might get confused, because you see a crowd that you never see. Compared to here, country club is not that of massive, crowd compared to that side. So, but yeah, it sometimes it can also motivate you when people are cheering. You can also do it like, yeah, let me show you. You want to be known. You want to do better in front of the big crowd. Yeah.
All right. Every time preparing for that fight, coming into that arena, is it always packed behind?
Yes, it's always packed. The people like boxing, they like sport. Yeah, they always really come and have come watch boxing. You know what I've seen in a couple of times in America, the venue is always full.
So when the venue is so full, the panic goes up and everything. Well, it's always good representing your country. I mean, so definitely if there was to be somebody else going to fight there, Loki, you would always give them advice.
Definitely, I'll give them advice. You see, boxing is not just physical. Boxing is also mental, whereby you have to be mental strong. Because in most cases, even if you are fit, you're strong, the body and the mind is weak, you can easily lose the fight. So it's better to have also somebody that can just talk to you about certain things, especially us who have been already there, especially to young guys. You can always come, approach me in case he's having a fight outside and ask a few things that you want to know, and I will tell him things that he has to know.
That he has to know. Any last word, Loki, for your fans, for the 17th of August?
Yeah, my last word, just to invite all the boxing fans to come to Venue Country Club on the 17th. We will be in action, so we are looking forward. We are preparing hard so that they might just buy their ticket, and then come the 17th, they should come watch boxing live. And for sure, I'll be there to shine and then to make them proud.
Thank you so much.
That is Jeremiah Loki Nakathila, the man who loves the limelight. He loves the life of Vegas. He wants to return and fight there again. I hope you enjoyed what he was saying there. And in terms of the experience and the advice he can give to many of the boxers in Namibia, because we have had a lot of boxers in Namibia that have actually not been able to perform very well. That is at the top of the continent, especially in the USA and in Russia, in England, and so on. So it is always very important to hear from guys like Nakathila that have been there, done that. They have been defeated, they have won there, and all that sort. Speaking of being there, done that, speaking of defeated and rising up, this is a man that has really inspired many, and that is Paulus Shipanga. He just refuses to go down. He has been at the helm of Brave Warriors, been let go of, and there he is, Gov B license diploma in South Africa. He has obtained it successfully, participated in the diploma course in Gauteng province. This course was organized from 29 April to the 12th of July. So he is one of the few coaches in Namibia who currently has that license. We all know Paulus Shipanga from coaching the likes of Blue Waters, from coaching the likes of African Stars, from going on to coaching that is the Brave Gladiators. He has also been part of the national team setup as a former player himself. We would just congratulate him for having done that job. A CAF B license, it doesn't get better than that, and I'm sure from here on he just aims for the A license, and he will definitely be worth coaching bigger teams on the continent, and maybe he can also inspire to go beyond the continent and get more papers. We will now go for a short break, and after that it will be the international news segment. Stay tuned.
From the day you were born and welcomed until your pensioner years on this earth, your life is filled with changes and phases. What mattered the most at age 10 may be an unknown memory at 25. The heartbreak at 16 may be replaced with wedding bells at 27. The degree you've always wanted or starting your career business may come true at age 30. And the dream to own your own home may come to realization at age 50. Whatever stage you find yourself in, whatever matters right now, Standard Bank has what you need to bank like you. Choose your own path. Choose endless possibilities. Standard Bank, it can be.
Of course, concluding the local front, we still do have the wrap-up show that is coming up at 6:30 for more local news and highlights. But for now, let us look at what is beyond Namibian borders. And we start, that is in Barcelona, Spain, where Nico Williams, who is currently, that is playing at the Euro 2024. The Barcelona will not bid for Onana as they are fully focused on Nico Williams. Barcelona considered Amadou Onana for the midfield, but they won't use that part of the budget to bid for him. Onana's close to joining Aston Villa, while Barca are completely focused on their target Nico Williams. Barca already made contact with the player's agent, and they want to advance in talks starting from next week. La Liga's approval for financial fair play will be key. Barcelona working to anticipate PL clubs for Nico. It is also official here that Frankie Ruhan, that is the 17-year-old, has signed a new 3-year contract with Chelsea. The deal is completed, says Fabrizio Romano, who has been one of the journalists that has been following transfers from a close up. So this guy will be there to represent, that is the Blues, in the next season's the Premier League and campaigns. Of course, we know that Chelsea had a very difficult season last season, and they will be hoping that Roonham will be one of the players that can actually be a key player to the team that has been struggling to make that is the top 4 of the English Premier League. There has been a lot of signings going on there, and we expect more in the coming weeks as they look forward to a new season. And on to some news, and this is for Osimhen's fans. I think a lot of fans for Osimhen are here in Africa. The Nigerian who has been very good playing for Nigeria and obviously playing for his club. Now he is the talk of the town. Osimhen, that is Antonio Conte, has spoken on his future. He said, "I spoke to Victor and there are no changes on his situation. He is a top player. He is Napoli's player today, so he needs to work hard, even if we've arrangement for his potential exit, and still we don't know the outcome of this story." From one African to another, and that is Sadio Mane. And I know many Liverpool fans will be there remembering the glory days, and obviously the Senegalese fans. However, he has moved to other places. So Sadio Mane's agent has clarified that he will not leave Al Nassr. "I didn't have any meeting with clubs regarding Sadio. I can guarantee that Mane is preparing the season with Al Nassr, and so he has absolutely no intention to leave." Speaking of intentions to leave here, Sevilla also having rejected, that is a proposal from Rangers from Joan Jordan. Obviously Jordan, one of the key players there. So they have rejected that to join the Scottish club on loan. Sevilla have no plans to cover part of the salary for Jordan, as Rangers required deal currently off. Jordan under contract until 2027 and is currently expected to stay. let us go for a short break, and after that we go into some inspirational story of a boy called Kobe Mainu.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
Neo Paints is proud to call Namibia home. For more than 70 years, Neo Paints has been inspired by this country's natural colors and beauty to produce the wide variety of trusted quality paints we have become known for. Proudly Namibian by nature, Neo Paints has over the years involved itself in several key projects across the nation, bringing lasting beauty, premium paints to liven up both indoor and outdoor environments. As durable as the Namib Desert, Neo Paints has stood the test of time through all weather conditions, leaving a lasting impression on the hearts and the minds of all Namibians. Neo Paints Namibia, a coat of excellence.
Trust me, I've seen and watched him play, and a quite incredible player, a phenomenon. At the age of 19 years old, he is already making headlines. And as many football fanatics have been saying, they hope that the English media will not put much pressure on this young star who has been a golden boy, who has done everything that a player of his age would not be able to achieve at this time. Just a year ago, nobody in the English squad except Kobe Mainu would have been mentioned. Obviously, he's a player that just came for United from the academy, and now here is a story that Rio Ferdinand thinks of Kobe Mainu. Sometimes kids come along and you only need one look at them to realize they have got it. That special something where you know they belong at the highest level. Kobe Mainu is one of those kids. It was back in February, after he had scored his first Premier League goal for Manchester United, that I said he reminded me of the legendary Dutch midfielder Clarence Seedorf. When I asked, Kobe gave me Seedorf vibes. I wasn't talking about his ability. I just meant style-wise in terms of his movement. I spoke to Clarence about him here in Germany the other day, and he said he definitely sees it too. The thing about Kobe, though, is he seems to get better every time you watch him play. As well as his movement, there's hidden decision making and the pace of his passing, plus the way he always seems to be in control and the way he handles everything that's thrown at him despite being only 19. The best part of his game, though, is that he is prepared to wait. Let me try to explain what I mean. This is what Rio Ferdinand said. When you are a young kid playing at the level Kobe is, you sometimes try to prove why you are there. I know from my own experience that you feel you always have to show what you can do, and you can end up trying too hard. Kobe is not like that. He won't try to push it and overplay. I've watched him closely, and the first 30% of passes of the ball he gets in a game in those opening minutes, he is happy just playing the ball short, 5 or 10 yards, waiting for the right moment for his natural raw ability to come. Now let's visit the marketplace once again before we continue with Kobe Mainu.
Today we are going to learn how to bake.
Welcome everyone.
Things may not always go as planned, but our technology doesn't fail. Join Paratus today. Paratus, always prepared.
And now let's continue. For those that have joined us, we were just speaking about a phenomenal player that is Kobe Mainu. And these are words from Rio Ferdinand, who was telling BBC. And let's hear more of what he had to say here. The moment comes and he knows exactly when. He can give you that little bit of wow factor where he draws someone out, breaks the press, or when the opposition think they are going to nick the ball off him. Those times when they have got him down a blind alley, but the somehow just comes out at the end anyway, and you are left going, oh my God. What he is doing is part of the game, and I heard Gareth Southgate say this too, by the way, that he makes look everything easy, but it's actually one of the most difficult things. Ask any midfielder what it is like to receive the ball from your defense with your back to play, not knowing what is behind you, and with the people pressing you from behind from different angles, but being able to feel where they are still and still get out. He always waits for his chance. Mainu started each of England's 3 group games on the bench and came on in 2 of them. He started all 3 knockout games so far at the Euro 2024. It took Gareth a little while to realize that he is right man to partner Declan Rice in England's midfield. First, he tried Trent Alexander-Arnold at these Euros. Then it was Conor Gallagher. But Gareth knows now, and so does everyone else, you cannot leave Kobe Mainu out. I said that straight away after I watched us beat Slovakia in the last 16, which was the first competitive international Kobe had started. I thought there was no way Gareth could have watched that game and thought, oh, we still need to experiment in midfield. The kid showed he is the real deal, so that he has to play. Kobe age and lack of experience is almost irrelevant. He already plays way beyond his years. He knows he belongs at this level, and it is like nothing phases him at all. On Sunday, he is going to be playing in a European Championship final as a teenager, but there is no way the size of the occasion is going to intimidate him. We saw that at the FA Cup final, not just with his man of the match performances, but also his celebration or lack of it after helping Manchester United beat Manchester City at Wembley. A lot of other players his age would be a bit over exuberant, maybe, but he is just so level-headed and calm. Part of that is down to his background. I spent a bit of time with his family earlier in the tournament, and after the semi-final win over the Netherlands too, they were enjoying themselves and having a good time, soaking it all up the same way I expect Kobe is, but without going crazy or getting carried away. They are all really lovely, balanced, grounded, well-rounded people, which is why he is the same and appears to be unaffected by fame. What can he do next? Kobe is already an incredible player. When this tournament is over, hopefully he will have helped England become champions of Europe. But whether we beat Spain in Sunday's final or not. I hope he embraces this moment and enjoys it, but then starts thinking, what can I add now? You get some kids who arrive on the scene and make a huge splash, but some of that success is down to them being a surprise. No one knows who they are, but that only lasts so long when you are on the biggest stage. Kobe has had an amazing few months, from making his first Premier League start in November to playing in such huge games for England at this tournament. But this is only the start for him. So how can he enhance his game? That's what all the very best players did, including Seedorf himself. He told me he taught himself how to have left foot because he knew it would make a difference, something that meant he could go both ways and become more of a threat. So can Kobe open his mind up so he can play more passes over 20 yards, so he can pick up a ball from the full backs and ping them forward like Paul Scholes used to? Are we going to see him get more shots off next season or take a few more risks with his passes? I'm not saying that these are the things that he has to do, but I want to see him continue to develop. There are elements Kobe could add that could turn him from being a very good player to being one of the greats. That Seedorf level, basically. That's what he should be aiming for. Now that is Rio Ferdinand, a former Manchester United and English international who believes Kobe Mainoo has what it takes to become a world's great. He just has to keep his game on par. Speaking of games on par, the English and the Spanish will meet. That is in tomorrow's final at 9 o'clock. Everyone is looking forward for that one. Predictions have already gone on. The bookmakers have said their predictions as well. The Octa has predicted. Obviously, Spain goes in this one as the favorites, having had 100% record going into the Champions League final. But however, it is still remain to be poised. It is English second consecutive final, and they have been singing the song "It Is Coming Home." Is it going to come home this season, or is it going to end in tears again for the English football team? They possess all the stars, they possess all the coaching staff that they would have hoped for. However, is Gareth Southgate's future at risk? Because we know even if he wins the Euro, his future is not guaranteed. But let's say he loses it, then it means he loses his job for sure, or he's going to resign before that. So the final will be up tomorrow, and I hope many of you will be watching that. And if you have our social media, you can also catch it up on Sport Rep, as we will continue updating you on the scoreline and everything that is happening around the Euros and other sports. Now, speaking of other sports, we do have the Paris Olympics coming up. Although the Namibian team will be short of only 4 individuals that will be participating, that is at this competition this year. Of course, it is not a number that many would have expected, but it is going to be that, and we have to back the team that is going there, which has the likes of Hilalia Johannes, Vera Lusa, and many more, to name a few. Speaking of the Olympics now, we do have something from Raiders. Speaking about the food and the whole fever of the Paris Olympics, do stay tuned.
Alors ici, Porte de Versailles, c'est un site clé pour Paris 2024. On aura 4 sports olympiques, 3 sports paralympiques, jusqu'à 10 sessions par jour, jusqu'à 80 000 spectateurs par jour. En tout, c'est là où on aura le plus de sessions. Plus de 50 sessions seront organisées sur ce site par Paris 2024. Plus d'1 million de spectateurs au global. Donc c'est un des sites vraiment clé de Paris 2024 avec beaucoup d'activités et une expérience magique pour les spectateurs.
Doivent être réutilisés. En fait, aujourd'hui, nous serons dans un contexte où 100% de ces sols vont être réutilisés sur les plus de 30 débat à la mobilité. On y va sur la vidéo. C'est parti pour...
L'intérêt d'utiliser ces grands halls d'exposition, c'est qu'il nous permet de ne pas construire de nouveaux sites et d'utiliser l'existant, même si on vient les aménager de manière spécifique pour les jeux. Et donc ici, par exemple, ce site qui accueille d'habitude des salons et autres manifestations, là c'est la première fois qu'il va accueillir une manifestation sportive, mais au travers de l'ensemble des halls, on va pouvoir accueillir jusqu'à 4 sports olympiques et 3 sports paralympiques, ce qui nous permet globalement de faire des économies, d'avoir un impact sur l'environnement plus faible et puis surtout de bénéficier des endroits assez stratégiques de ces lieux qui sont très bien desservis par les transports en commun.
Pas avoir un scotch au rouge, c'est pas avoir un rouge ici et avec la pollution. Il faut absolument que les gens viennent à l'entrée, il faut ajouter un scotch ici ou quoi qu'il en soit. D'accord, ouais. On va juste qu'il y ait une coupée d'électricité. Ça dépend d'une petite serviette, c'est pas... Ah bah voilà.
Ça sera en complément. On va essayer quand même d'inciter aussi les athlètes au moins à découvrir, à
Arrêtez de booster un peu, allez manger, franchement, c'est pas possible.
Donc là c'est une salade végétarienne donc qui est composée de quinoa et d'une brunoise de légumes accompagnée d'une sauce tahinée et de falafel, donc le falafel gardien gourmet à la betterave et le falafel classique gardien gourmet aussi.
Oui, ça c'est des choses oui, X millions de repas pour les athlètes.
C'est végétal, c'est très bon pour tout ce qui est leur équilibre, pour la santé aussi. Et c'est léger aussi pour tout ce qui est le sport. Voilà, c'est pas quelque chose de lourd et ça peut intégrer le menu des sportifs.
It's also our responsibility to educate the people who will be engaged in Paris 2024 that it's a collective duty now to change our habits and definitely to reduce our carbon footprint. So to go to the venue by a public transport system, and when you buy food in the venue, you should also try the vegetable food that is served, because in terms of taste, it's very good. Now the products are quite amazing, and with the chef way to cook the vegetable products, you will be surprised by the fact that it's a vegetable product.
The Agenda is a weekly national affairs interview program hosted every Sunday by Namibian Sun editor Toivon Jabela, featuring a panel of high-profile newsmakers, analysts, and experts. The Agenda aims to reach high-end news consumers seeking informed understanding of national issues. This show is broadcasted on NTV, 1up2.com, and the Namibia Media Holdings Facebook platform. The agenda focuses on interviews where we put the nation in the hot seat. Contact agenda at synergy.com.ma to get your product and service in the hot seat. The agenda, focused on today's conversation.
It has been a marathon show full of activities, full of events that have been coming up, full of events that have taken place today. We have seen quite a number of interviews today. But guess what? We are not done yet. We will just go for a breather and we'll be back. That is with the wrap-up show. So please do not go away as we come and wrap it up once and for all for the Saturday.
From the day you were born and welcomed until your pensioner years on this earth, your life is filled with changes and phases. What mattered the most at age 10 may be an unknown memory at 25. The heartbreak at 16 may be replaced with wedding bells at 27. The degree you've always wanted or starting your career business may come true at age 30. And the dream to own your own home may come to realization at age 50. Whatever stage you find yourself in, whatever matters right now, Standard Bank has what you need to bank like you. Choose your own path. Choose endless possibilities. Standard Bank, it can be.
Neo Paints is proud to call Namibia home. For more than 70 years, Neo Paints has been inspired by this country's natural colors and beauty to produce the wide variety of trusted quality paints we have become known for. Proudly Namibian by nature, Neo Paints has over the years involved itself in several key projects across the nation, bringing lasting beauty, premium paints to liven up both indoor and outdoor environments. As durable as the Namib Desert, Neo Paints has stood the test of time through all weather conditions, leaving a lasting impression on the hearts and the minds of all Namibians. Neo Paints Namibia, a coat of excellence.
It is time for the wrap-up show, and I am Jesse Jackson Kauraitha, and we'll be wrapping up a few sports stuff that has taken place today, and of course maybe through the week as well, as it is a wrap-up show, and it is not called a wrap-up show for nothing. So we start off at the Hagegeinkop Stadium, where that is the Windhoek Beer Velviches lost, that is to Portugal, with a scoreline of 37-22. It was indeed a much improved performance from their Blue Bulls defeat about a week ago that resulted in them losing by a very heavy margin. With a respectable scoreline today, the Velviches pushed through, and they tried by all means to showcase that coach Alistair Coetzee has prepared the team better off against the Portuguese. Now our NTV team was at the Hagegeinkop Stadium and compiled these highlights for us.
Hello viewers, and welcome to this highlights package involving the test match between Namibia and Portugal. Tiaan Swanepoel opening the score on behalf of Namibia with a penalty in the 4th minute. Swanepoel successfully converting this penalty for the first points on the scoreboard on behalf of Namibia. It was Swanepoel again in the 8th minute. Another penalty successfully converted, and it's 6 for Namibia and 0 for Portugal.
So after that, we saw the first try on the side of Portugal. The fly of Cabral that sent over the cross kick, and not much that Kieran Majid could do to stop Rodrigo Marta from scoring the try there for Portugal.
Yes, and the Portugal fans celebrate. There's the conversion. And here we have the Namibians on the attack. Lloyd Jacobs there. But then unfortunately that attack fizzled out, and Portugal changing things once again. And what a play by Namibia here. Katsitseko crashing over for Namibia's first try. And Tiaan also added the conversion, and the score 13 for Namibia and 7 for Portugal. That was Cabral adding a penalty for Portugal.
An opportunity for Namibia. Alkino Isaacs winning back that grabber or little kick forward. Jason Nell trying to keep the ball alive, but the referee ruling against Namibia there. And then also an opportunity for Portugal, creating an opportunity towards the left-hand side, but the last pass gets left behind. And then it was the flank, Nicolas Martins, that scored just before halftime for Portugal, converted by Cabral. And the halftime score 13 for Namibia, 17 for Portugal.
Swanepoel converting another penalty there on behalf of Namibia, pushing the score to 16 against the 17 for Portugal.
And then a crucial try scored by the right wing of Portugal, José Paiva da Santos. That took one of the moments that took the match away from Namibia. Escaping the tackle of Danko Burger there, and also getting away from Kieran Majid.
Domingos
increasing the gap there to 34 points to 22. Easy conversion there for Cabral.
Tiaan Swanepoel with another penalty conversion on behalf of Namibia. in the 58th minute.
Yeah, these penalties were all a little bit earlier, I think, before that try that we saw. And then, unfortunately, time running out for Namibia to be able to make a comeback.
And then it was one-way traffic for Portugal. Manuel Cardoso, fullback, cutting open the Namibian defense and crashing over for a try on behalf of Portugal, right underneath the post, touching down in the 65th minute. Domingos added the conversion, pushing the tally up to 34 for Portugal, 22 for Namibia.
Unfortunately, the end result there, 37 for Portugal, 22 for Namibia. As expected, the higher ranked team in the world rankings currently pulling through to win, although Namibia were in it with just 5 points difference until a late stage with 20 minutes left. Unfortunately, the match getting away from them.
What a match, what a time, and at what a day, at what an occasion that is the Hage Geingob Stadium, and what a broadcast from the NTV team there, mastering it and making sure that we have 3 commentaries, that is in different languages, which is English, Portuguese, and Afrikaans. One of a kind, and the first probably here in Namibia. Big ups to the team for that one there. Speaking of more highlights, obviously earlier on in the day, that was a match between the Vipers and Ocean Swallows. Ocean Swallows taking, that is the first division final there with a 14-17 score line. Enjoy the highlights.
Ja, as ek kyk daar soos Van Wyk natuurlik, hy het bietjie gesukkel, Jamal van Wyk. Hy het met sy stelskopwerk gesukkel so bietjie. Dit was in die eerste helfte. Het hy daardie skop oorgekom, eerste keer die skop oorgekry en hulle het 3 punte voorgebring. En toe was dit Leandro Oberholzer, hy het met sy eerste een het hy misluk. En toe hierdie was sy tweede poging paal toe wat hy mee suksesvol was. Baie goed gedoen daar om hierdie ene tussen die paal deur te kry. Dit het die telling 3 elk gemaak. Telling 3 elk gemaak. En ja, as ons net kyk hierso, goeie beweging wat daar uitgelei het na Vipers se enigste 3 toe daar. As ons kyk aan Anton Potgieter, hy het die hele wedstryd het hy baie ver veld gewen. Hy kon nie 'n 3 kry nie. Hy het hom so min of meer elke keer lekker met sy spoed bietjie opgeraak. Hierso is dit Vipers wat die lyn kwaai ingeval het en toe het hulle geel kaart Ocean Swallows gekry en die man wat daar oorval is Ouen Swarts, 3-drukker. Hy het 2-3 gedruk in die semifinale, hierso ook 'n 3 gedruk daar. Leandro Oberholzer. Van die kantlyn af nie suksesvol gewees met hierdie en toe word die telling 8-3 in die guns van Vipers. En toe die wipplankryerry gewees, Ikonu, hy het baie goed gedoen daar om groot gaping te slaan, maar ongelukkig toe verloor hy sy voete daar, maar sy eie voete daar, Ouen Swarts, hy die hele wedstryd. Hierdie ene is een van die goeders wat hulle dalk seker gaan teruggekyk het en gesê het, ons moes dalk die strafskop gevat het. Hulle het 'n skram strafskop gevat, Ouen Swarts hom opgetel en toe het hy ongelukkig daar net so met 'n enkel klappie het hy geval. Jamal van Wyk, toe het hy met sy pogingspale toe beginne. Daar eerste ene gemis daar. Toe het hy hierdie ene het hy oorgekry, net oor die pale gekry daarso. En dit was die halftydtelling, was toe nou daardie ene gewees. 8-6 in die guns van Vipers nog gewees. 8-6. Tweede helfte. Leandro Oberholzer baie naby aan die pale, omtrent daarvan af waar hy sy laaste skop geskop het hy hom oor die pale geklits. En dit het die telling dan nou 11-6 gemaak. Jamal van Wyk het gesorg dat hulle daai paar punte probeer nader gekom het, maar hy het nie met die ene geslaag nie. Jamal van Wyk baie gemengde welslag gehad van die af weer 'n keer daar, ongelukkig nie. Nog ene, dit was dieselfde ene daar. Hierdie ene Jamal van Wyk hier geslaag daarom. En dat nou gemaak. Dat Vipers net daar die 2 punte voor was weer. Hierso is ongelukkige ene vir hulle gewees. Fernando Moller slaan die bal aan daar op 'n kritieke tyd. Slaan hy die bal aan, hulle kry die bal in die hande. Ocean Swallows kan terugslaan. Nicolas Mostert wat daar so 'n bietjie sleg die skoonmaak gekry het daar. Andrew Obrosser Nadlyn toe geskop het, paal toe geskop het, hy maak nie 'n fout nie. Kry hom tussen die balle deur. Nou hou dop, Ocean Swallows, laat in hierdie wedstryd. Baie laat in hierdie wedstryd. Hy beer daaroor, maar ongelukkig hou hulle vir hom op vir Ocean Swallows. Hou hulle hom op daar. Meneer Matthee wat daar op die maag gaan lê het om te kyk vir hierdie ene en hy sê ja, inderdaad. Bal is opgehou. So dis 'n doellyn inskop. Andrew Obrosser ingeskop van die doellyn af. Kry Ocean Swallows om in die hande, kyk daar baie Ikono, baie mooi gebreek daar. Hy was die plaasvervanger gewees nommer 22 en daar oorgeval, lyk dit vir ons dit wat Gino Isaacs kon gewees het. Gino Isaacs wat daar aanvanklik gedink het ons aanvanklik gedink hy die bal agtergelos, maar hy het nie. Doelskop was mis gewees, maar dit was genoeg gewees om hulle voor te sit 14. Hier is die laaste skop gewees van Loandro Obrosser om het gelyk te maak, om het 17 elk gelyk op te gemaak het. Dit was na die toeter. So speeltyd verstreke, ongelukkig. Hy het hom van daar af die eerste skop daarvan af oorgekry. Sy laaste skop kon hy nie daarvan af oorkom nie en dit maak dit dan nou. Ocean Swallows, hulle het die wen die trofee. 17-14 wat het hulle hierdie wedstryd gewen. Hulle het dit vir baie laat gelos en ek dink Vipers hier na die einde toe hulle eie grootste vyande gewees. Dalk oorhaastig geraak en nie genoeg koelkoppe daar gehad nie. Ons bring vir binnekort, ons vir die hoofdes van die middag, Namibia teen Portugal.
That was the highlights of the first division final between Ocean Swallows and Vipers. Of course, Ocean Swallows taking that one 17-14 at the Hage Geingob Stadium, where it was a massive day of rugby, going down in international history, of course, for the 3 commentaries that was done by the NTV team that was on the ground. Speaking of history, CAF B license, that is Paulus Shipanga, Namibian coach, has just completed his CAF B license, that is successfully participated in the CAF B license diploma course in Gauteng province, South Africa. This course was organized from 29 to 12th July 2024. Paulo Shipanga adds to a few coaches in Namibia that have the CAF B license course, and of course he is able now to coach a few teams that is on the continent and to actually to participate in some of that is continent tournaments. And remember that he was part of the Brave Gladiators coaching staff for a while before actually pursuing his education in football coaching. And maybe one day he will surface, that is at the Brave Warriors. Speaking of Brave Gladiators, on Thursday they drew 1-1 against that is Liechtenstein, a country next to that is Switzerland. It was indeed a good result for the Namibians with a 1-1 draw with their first ever European experience. You can see the happy faces, the confidence faces, the smiles tells it all that the team was ready for action on the day. Speaking of more news now, we move over to the coast where we have some footage coming from that side. Enjoy.
Wel, ons het begin met 'n wêreldrekord vanoggend. Dit was Stefan Strydom geweest. Hy het die gewigstoot gedoen. Nou as jy kyk na die gewigstoot op sy ouderdom, jy kry mos nou ons sê 7-8 jaar, hy is onder 11. So Stefan is onder 11 en hy het gegaan vir die 5 kg gewigstootbal waarmee hulle stoot vir die wêreldrekord daarmee. Normaalweg stoot hulle met 'n 2 kg. En net eers 'n bietjie oor die 2 kg, hy was verskriklik naby aan die SA rekord op die 2 kg al klaar. So dis 'n fantastiese prestasie. En toe maar hy spesialiseer nou op die 5 kg op die wêreldrekord, en die wêreldrekord was 8.56 meter, en met sy derde gooi toe stoot hy 8.85 meter.
Wow.
So dis fantasties. So ja, hy het hom gebreek. En toe kom ons by die hoogspring. Daar het ons klein terug te gaan eers weer na Stefan toe. Stefan het die 110 wêreldrekord ook.
Sjoe.
So Stefan het die 110 wêreldrekord en hy het vandag die 111 wêreldrekord by die gewigstoot. En dan het ons mos nou vir Johan wat laas jaar die hoogspringrekord verbeter het vir die ouderdom 5-jariges. Nou Johan is nou 6. So hy het vandag gegaan toe vir 2 rekords. En dit is International Age Group World Record.
Wow.
So as jy nou dink die lys van wêreldrekords.
Presies.
En jy kyk na 7-jariges, byvoorbeeld Paul spring wat almal ken. Sit hier met Duplantis wat nou die huidige wêreldrekord is, en sy naam is nou op dieselfde lys as waar hierdie kinders se nou is. So Johan het toe die standing rekord was 0.78 meter en hy het hom verbeter na 0.79 meter toe. En dan het hy die hoogspringrekord wat 1.05 meter was, het hy verbeter na 1.06 meter toe. Tydens oefening spring hulle eintlik nog hoër,
ja.
Johan, maar die groot rede is, ons verbeter hom met 1 sentimeter en stop dan. Dit is maar oor veiligheidsredes. Jy weet, as 'n kind klein is, laat jy nie op die lat val en sulke tipe goed. Dus hy moet gemaklik daaroor kom. So tydens oefeninge hou vas ek maar die lat en hulle oefen tot hulle gemaklik is, en as ek verseker is hy kan die wêreldrekord veilig spring.
Ja.
Dan laat springe kom.
Ja.
En dit het vandag gebeur. So ons is baie trots op hulle.
Now speaking, that is a motorcycling, something different for the day here, and it is of course covered. That is by Tilman van Lille, who was on the ground. Now King of the Dead, Master Craftsman Mark Sternagel turning the tables, winning the King of the Dead competition and the open class of the 5th leg of the Namibian champs at the Galena MX Park, north of the capital. Quite a very talented motorcyclist there. And now, before we conclude, obviously we wrap up with something of the week. What is the Sport Rap Show without a wrap-up or something of the week? And it is an interview with Jeremiah Loki Nakathila.
We are joined here by, that's the man himself, Jeremiah Loki Nakathila, obviously preparing for a big fight in August. Loki, we have chatted about this before, but we just want an update on how are things going in the gym.
Yeah, no, thank you, Jesse. Jeremiah Loki Nakathila here. I'm very busy man at work. When it comes to training, I've been in the gym since my last fight. I fought recently in April, and again, my promoter did a great job to schedule me to fight in 17 August, and I'm excited. I mean, I'm looking forward to the 17 August, so I can do what I do best, and that's to shine and win. I'm looking forward to that fight.
All right, you've been sparring, obviously. I don't know how well you know your opponent. Have you ever seen him in action?
I have looked at a few footage on YouTube, but yeah, that's all I saw. But I'm just focusing more on my training and to make sure I'm ready, because I know when I'm ready, there's no doubt I will destroy him.
Yes, Loki, you have gone up the weight, and if we look at that, what can you say has changed in terms of diet, in terms of training? Is it the same as at the weight where you were?
Right now I feel more comfortable at lightweight. Since I have moved up, I feel more comfortable in the lightweight, so I'm not training more compared to when I was fighting a junior light. And also now I'm grown, so I have to be to move up. No complaint about the weight. I feel more stronger, more comfortable in the lightweight.
Definitely. Okay. So what are the different, let's say, in terms of lightweight, and when you were in the other division, what were the different stuff that you have seen that you need to do in lightweight that you, any other weight that you had to do?
Yeah, I felt there's more competition come to the lightweight. Even now, when you look at all Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, all the names you can mention, they are in the lightweight division. So it also motivates in the back of my mind to work hard, because I know I'm in a tough division, and if one of the days I have to fight these guys, or I have to get a call to fight one of these top guys, I must be ready. So I feel lightweight carry more competitive. It's a more competitive weight, and I'm happy to be in such a very competitive weight.
Yes. We know the Nakathila of the past and the new Nakathila that is now fighting in the lightweight, that has been fighting in the likes of America and these countries. So what would you say you have learned all this way?
Yeah, I've learned going to fight in America. I've learned something from those few fights that I fought there. And also the training camp. One of the things when you go abroad, you have a week for exposure whereby you train in this big gym, and you also have top guys that are coming in training that time. You look at certain things, how they do it, and for sure it will help you. Also just to strengthen your mind, how you have to do it when it comes to training. It helped me a lot. Training wise, I feel I was lucky to be part of those journeys, going to America and then have those exposure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, going to America, it's been a while now, obviously, since you returned. Perhaps in your back of your mind, when you're fighting these local fights, these African fighters and all, do you perhaps still have a dream of fighting again in America?
For sure, I'm looking forward to fight again in America, especially now having fights here. This fight is just to put me back at the range, or whereby I can have a chance to fight the top guys in America, and then it's a must that I must win this fight, so I can able to get a chance again to fight in the American soil.
Yes. Look, you've been into America. My interesting question has been the atmosphere in terms of a fight, when the fight is going compared to when you're in Namibia. What has been the biggest difference?
Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge, those are arena, you fight in a big arena, especially if you are coming in the ring. It's better to avoid to look around. It's better to focus on your opponent, because if you look around, you might get confused, because you see a crowd that you never see. Compared to here, country club is not that of a massive crowd compared to that side. So, but yeah, it sometimes it can also motivate you when people are cheering. You can also do it let me show you. You want to be known. You want to do better in front of the big crowd. Yeah.
All right. Every time preparing for that fight, coming into that arena, is it always packed behind?
Yes, it's always packed. The people like boxing, they like sport. They always really come and come watch boxing. What I've seen in a couple of times in America, the venue is always full.
Mm-hmm. So when the venue is so full, the panic goes up and everything. Well, it's always good representing your country. I mean, so definitely if there was to be somebody else going to fight there, Loki, you would always give them advice.
Definitely, I'll give them advice. You see, boxing is not just physical. Boxing is also mental. whereby you have to be mental strong. Because in most cases, even if you are fit, you are strong, the body and the mind is weak, you can easily lose the fight. So it's better to have also somebody that can just talk to you about certain things, especially us who have been already there, especially to young guys. You can always come, approach me in case he's having a fight outside and ask a few things that you want to know, and I will tell him things that he has to know.
That he has to know. Any last word, Loki, for your fans, for the 17th of August?
Yeah, my last word, just to invite all the boxing fans to come to Vendu Country Club on the 17th. We will be in action, so we are looking forward. We are preparing hard so that they might just buy their ticket, and then come the 17th, they should come watch boxing live. And for sure, I'll be there to shine and then to make them proud.
Thank you so much, Loki.
That was Jeremiah Loki Nakathila. Now, before we conclude, African Stars, of course, have their pre-season tour that is coming up. They are currently in Botswana, where they will be competing for a pre-season tournament. After that, they will be playing, that is in the CAF Champions League, before they play the PST Bet NFA Cup final, that is on 27th July against the Young Brazilians. From me, Jesse Jackson Kauraiva, it has been a wonderful day hosting you viewers from comfort of your homes. Please do not forget to catch the Sport Rep Show and the Rep Up Show again next week, Saturday, as we continue to unpack the latest. For me, it is ciao.